All right, hello everyone. It is another Wednesday. Time to get busy. Last week, you guys spent some time in the barracks, meeting your new traveling companion, Dolos Grimwald, after a fight with some cultists of Baal outside of the barracks. You knocked one of them unconscious, brought them inside, and tried to get some information out of them. Everyone tried to kind of use their own tactics to try to gain the trust. Well, not everyone, but some of you tried to gain the trust of this individual that you had held captive, to find out maybe what the deal was, why they attacked, what's going on. But it seems to be, for the most part, that the cultists of Baal, at least, really only have one objective, and that is to murder and cause chaos. And so, as far as you can tell, that was really just a senseless act of violence that you encountered. Dolos, you met Captain Lightheart, and when you spoke Infernal to him, he recognized your voice and recalled that the two of you spent some time together in your childhood in an orphanage that you both stayed in for a bit of time when you were kids. You informed everyone that you are already working for Sir Ulder Ravengard, one of the new heads of state here in Baldur's Gate, and you are working under him already as a spy. So Captain Lightheart was happy to invite you for the time being to work with his new recruits in looking into the attacks on the city from the cultists of Baal, and while the others went with Krayley to gather their things from their home out in the outer city, you did some of your own questioning to the cultists, and you found out that he had a place he was willing to escape with you to in the upper cities of Baldur's Gate, a bathhouse called the Steaming Nymph. That is where you are all standing outside of currently. I'll go over it one more time. I did at the end of last week's session, but it's kind of a one-story stuccoed building with clay roof tiles. You can kind of see the building coming up over the stone wall that encompasses it on the outside, and even the high-topped roof of the building has these large stained glass windows depicting nymphs kind of dancing in a forest. Today, at least, well, in the lower city, there was still a bit of rolling fog at your feet as you exited the barracks. But as you made your way up into the upper city, you kind of went up the levels towards the gates, and as you made your way up into the upper city, I think it's the first time you've all been in here together. In the upper city, it's much more clean and quiet. There is not sort of everyone stacked up on top of each other. It's more of these sprawling old manors that are sort of all a part of the original history of the city, essentially. And you guys are on a well-paved street just inside these gates to the upper city. You kind of took a right turn, and just like one block down, you found the Steaming Nymph. Next to it is like a small bakery that you can see, like some fresh croissants have been placed in the window, baguettes and things, baked goods. There are little circular tables outside where there are a couple of noble folk out sitting, having a coffee, reading a copy of the morning gazetteer that is printed every day in the city and distributed out. Mostly more in the upper city, but you can get copies of it in the lower city if you pay for it. And yeah, that's where you guys are. You can see you guys are standing outside of the walls of the Steaming Nymph, and you can see there's maybe I'll just move over to the map. That might be helpful. But in front of you, outside of the walls, there's like this large swinging double bamboo doors, and and then the whole building itself is kind of encompassed by a stone wall. It's just probably after around 9 a.m. There is a bit of clear blue sky above your first day in Baldur's Gate, where it's been kind of a clear day, but there are patches of white clouds kind of slowly drifting as the sun has been over the horizon for maybe about an hour now. There's people milling about, going to and fro about their business now in the streets of the upper city. Everyone looks kind of well dressed. Occasionally somebody will pass by you and they'll maybe spot the lining of your cloak or something that signifies you as a member of the Fist, and they'll give you a polite nod or a smile. What would you like to do?
Can I go in there and just start asking about the number that was on the piece of paper I had?
Yeah, you guys can move your tokens freely now. So if you wanted to head into the courtyard, outside of the walls of the establishment, you don't see anyone to necessarily address. I know you guys can see kind of like the interior of this whole map, but drawing dynamic lighting is hard. Or that's not hard; it's just time consuming. Actually, we'll go over it later because I have a dynamic lighting map for this. I'll let you guys choose which one you want to use in the dungeon.
Okay.
You guys head into the courtyard. You see this little L-shaped courtyard. From outside, you could hear this like trickling of water, and as you step inside, you can see these large marble fountains, as well as these like long white decorated marble benches. Each of them has like a smiling nymph tipping a jug that spills water into a circular stone basin in the courtyard.
Fancy.
The courtyard's kind of an L shape, and you can see along the other side, kind of where you're at right now is a big stained glass window right in front of you there, Krayley. So it's like a big tall nymph kind of like peeking out from around a tree, lights kind of shining in through it to the interior of the building. You can see around the other side of the courtyard along is probably the front door, much resembling the door on the outer wall. Now that you're in the courtyard, you can actually hear like some polite conversation going on inside. You can hear the sound of running water occasionally. Yeah.
Am I allowed to go inside?
Sure, yeah. Didn't seem like the gates are unlocked or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you head inside. You see there is the entrance is up over here, but yeah, you can just place your token around the front door if you'd like, as well as the rest of you wherever. Do any of you want to do anything in the courtyard, or?
It depends. Are we all going with her, or?
I think Bernard is just kind of casually meandering through the courtyard behind you, just taking things in. Yeah.
Crawling. You going?
I'm gonna follow Sylvie. I'm gonna see
Okay.
what she's doing.
I'll follow with.
I'm gonna investigate the courtyard for a secret entrance, if there are any.
Sure.
You never know.
How are you? In what manner are you using to investigate? Just like
my eyes and my hands.
Okay, no magical assistance.
I don't think I have any magical assistance.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Only I could take 20.
You could take 10.
Oh, this is better.
If I'm allowed to do this, if not, it's okay. Could Delos cast minor illusion to like fuck with him?
Sure.
Make like a little like noise of something.
Yeah.
Just be a little gremlin. I think you'll hear like whispers in like a corner or something.
Now, would I make a second
You can make
investigation?
you can make an insight check.
Oh, an insight.
Yeah. You you start kind of looking around the courtyard. You know, there's the courtyard actually has like a little well manicured lawn, and like flower boxes and things, and kind of poking around in one of the flower boxes, and you hear like a little sound off behind you, and you turn to look, and there's nothing there. You kind of look around, and you can kind of see like the end of a magical gesture as Dolos is kind of walking away. You can kind of see him peering at you over his shoulder a little bit, but then you do spot something else. You spot a little set of wet footprints, little tiny footprints that hop off the edge of the fountain, and they like duck waddle a few steps towards you, and then they stop. But there's nothing there. It's like just little wet footprints that maybe go like 6 paces towards you as you're peeking around looking for maybe like a secret door or something in the courtyard, and then the little wet footprints stop in their place.
I'm going to focus on that spot and then try to reach out and not swipe, not mean like a cat where it's like and like hit something or whatever, but like kind of like try to wave my hand through it to see if there's something invisible there, because I don't have see invisibility yet.
Yeah, go ahead and I would say make like a sleight of hand check. You're still maybe like 2 full paces away from the spot where the footsteps stopped. So do you kind of like... You said you're kind of focusing on the spot, so it's kind of obvious that you're going to go towards it and try and grab something there?
Yeah. So sleight of hand?
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check. 20's pretty good.
Good rolls tonight.
Yeah.
You like swipe forward, and you grab down, and you come in contact with something, and you like feel like you're holding like a fleshy little lump in your hands now. You can feel like a tiny little rib cage and like a plump little belly. And you hear a little voice say, "Hey, let me go!" And you get a sting on your hand. And you take 4 piercing damage. And then you can hear like a little flapping of wings like fly past your head. Or I guess maybe make a athletics acrobatics check. They're going to try and get out of your grasp. You feel this little impish. You hint. You feel this little impish body wiggle out of your hands, and that you feel like their tiny wings flap past your cheeks as they like fly past you. You're not sure where they've gone off to, but there was a little. You stumbled upon a little impish creature spying in the courtyard. You did not find any secret doors.
Can I make a perception check to see if I could tell what direction it went?
Sure. It'll be pretty high. You're not too sure. You know, the creature seemed to be completely invisible. I guess when it gave you a sting, it would have briefly appeared for a moment. So what you would have seen is just a tiny little red winged creature, except it had a pudgy little belly, and big, like oval-shaped yellow eyes. It had like a long, almost scorpion-like tail that was red and then kind of turned blue towards the end with a little pincer tail. And as it stung your hand and appeared, it kind of like grinned at you mischievously and then went invisible again. And then you could feel it like struggling, and it flew away.
I'm gonna guess that it went. Hold on, I'm gonna draw that it went. That it
But it came from it came from here. It hopped out of the fountain here and watched you guys enter. So that's where you kind of swiped it up by, yeah.
I'm gonna guess it went. Yeah, draw again. This way. So in order to try to make it lose flight control, I'm gonna cast Gust, even though it doesn't do any damage. I'm gonna try to make his brain sound just like the.
Yeah, no, you hear his little voice go, "Wee!" as he likely spreads his wings and uses the momentum to shoot him off into wherever he's going for the rest of the afternoon.
Did we hear any of that?
You probably heard the little. It might have sounded like a little cat meow or something almost. But you look over and there's like a cat perched on the wall. One of the many cats that live in the city, even in the upper city. They're quite common felines. Sylvie, you head inside and you see a slender human man. He's got like a friar's bowl haircut. You kind of know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he stands up. He's got like a copy of the morning paper, and he's got his like leg crossed, and you can see like there are three large. There's this inside of the steam house is a 20-foot high pillared chamber, and all the walls are adorned with these large tapestries of bathing nobles that are kind of all bunched up in the corners. You see some of the natural light of the day pouring through the stained glass windows, creating colorful patterns on the tiles of this polished blue marble floor that you're now stepping in on. You see three shallow sunken pools that have scintillating scented perfumes filling the air quite strongly, and there are more white marble benches with stacks of dry towels situated near the pools. You can see each of the pools has a big brass faucet that has these large handles on either side, and there's like two women directly across from the front door sitting in one of these pools, and you can see her like reach her bare foot up and like press down one of the handles, and some steaming water comes out, and the other one is like braiding her hair as she does that, and they both kind of like look over at you, and then she like tips the faucet back up, just adding some hot water to the pool. There's one other kind of like older portly gentleman in the pool to the north of you, and he's just like got a big curved pipe in his mouth, and he's kind of leaning back, and there's like not a podium, but there's like a little pedestal that kind of can swing in and out on the side of the bath, and he's got like a a copy of the paper, the day's paper, spread out on it as well. It seems like the gazetteer is popular among the inhabitants of the upper city. The man that enters, he says, "Oh, welcome to the Steaming Nymph. I don't think that I have any more morning appointments. Can I help you? My name is Jabaz, at your service."
Hello, Jabaz. I was just wondering, I have this piece of paper here that I found. It's got this number written on it. I don't know, does this have any meaning to you?
He takes it. If you let him, he holds his hand out kind of properly, and he plucks it with his thumb and forefinger, and he turns it over and he says, "Well, yes, this is from here. I mean, that's as much as I can tell you, I suppose. This would have meant the number that you're asking about, that it was just our 23rd guest of the day."
Okay. Do you have a registry or something? Or a roster of people who've been here?
We keep a registry of people that make appointments, of course. Occasionally, we do welcome in walk-ins if we aren't already fully booked for the day. Today happens to be one of those days, so I'm sorry I can't fit you in, but I also cannot allow you to view private information of our customers. I'm sure you understand.
Yes, I understand. And then I take the piece of paper back, and then I start sneaking around.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I can just imagine that she's like, I'm gonna start sneaking around, literally, like it's like a video game, immediately goes crouch mode, right in front of the guy.
Yeah. The big red triangle is just pointed at her, visible.
You've been caught.
Yes. He might say something to you, but I'm going to see what everyone else is doing.
Okay.
I mean, Quayle, are you gonna go inside?
Yes, I am gonna walk inside, and I am curious if Crayley will recognize the scent of that curvy man's tobacco stuff that he's smoking.
Yeah, you can make a nature check.
Okay. That's good. Quick.
21.
Who else today?
Is Crayley particularly interested in tobaccos and such?
No.
No. You do recognize this is a popular type of tobacco among the more well-endowed members of society. It is like a Luskin-grown tobacco from the north. It kind of leaves a fresh, minty taste in one's mouth, even after smoking with fire. And it is kind of like a magically imbued tobacco to keep you minty fresh.
Okay. Write that down real quick. Okay, and then
It's called Luskin Breeze.
Luskin Breeze.
Mm.
Okay. And then did Crayley, I guess, happen to see that Sylvie attempted to talk to the, assuming this gentleman who kind of running the joint right now?
Yeah, have you gone inside as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I would
you
walk up.
yeah, you would have caught the tail end of their conversation.
Okay. I'm just gonna really just thinking here. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna walk up to that gentleman that Sylvie just spoke with and ask, I couldn't help but notice the scent of that very delicious Luscan breeze. I know our friends and I here aren't necessarily here for an appointment, but you wouldn't happen to be selling that separately, would you?
You see Jabaz is about to protest to you, beginning to skulk about Sylvia's. Then Crayley comes in and begins to question him about the tobacco one of the men in the tubs is smoking, which gives you a bit of time to lurk. Why don't you kind of move your token to where you might be investigating and just describe, either describe how you're looking or what you're looking for in particular, or just make an investigation check.
So I'm looking for the registry book that he was talking about.
I gotcha. Give me 2 checks, actually. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
And I guess give me an insight check instead of an investigation.
Okay.
And I need to roll something real quick. Ooh. Okay. Jabaz says... the customer brought that himself, but we do have some other types of tobacco if you'd like. Even though we don't have any room for massages or baths today, I can still sell some of our massage oils or some of the more luxurious offerings that we have for clientele. Typically, it's not stuff that members of the Fist could afford, not to assume anything. And they've started to take note of how your cloaks and maybe some of your questioning.
Okay. Totally reasonable assumption that you've made, but I do come from a family who's, started their own business in the area, and just thought I'd recognize that scent, but I would be interested in some of your maybe more interesting tobaccos that you have available.
You hear the man in the tub kind of swish around a bit, and he lets out a puff of minty smoke, and he says, "Oh, come on, Jabaz, don't be so rude." And he says, "Come here, bunny rabbit."
I bite my tongue and I walk towards him with a smile on my face.
I just brought this down from Luskin myself. It's fresh cut, and I've got some to spare. Why don't you reach into my pocket there in my overcoat and pull a pouch out for yourself?
If you don't mind, I'll walk forward and reach my hand into his pocket over there.
He says, "No, of course not. You Fists do good work here in the city. Much cleaner than the last time I arrived."
I appreciate that. And am I able to locate some Luscan breeze?
Yeah, you pull out that you can feel there's a couple kind of little neatly wrapped bars of smoking tobacco in one of his large outer pockets. They're wrapped in parchment paper and have twine wrapped around them, tightly packed little bricks of tobacco. Yeah.
Is the one that he's smoking fresh, or is he about to finish the one he's started on?
You can see up on the little lectern where he's got his paper sprawled out that he's got a packet that's about open and about halfway consumed.
Okay. I'll grab 2. And say, I'll just pretend to check my pockets.
Yeah, sure. I think if he notices, he doesn't even protest, doesn't even mention it. he says,
Put out and look for a light.
he says, don't worry about Jabaz. He's been a little uptight this morning for some reason. And he reaches over and he pulls a little matchbox down. He tries to like strike a match and he's like, oh, wet. And he goes and does the other side and he strikes the match and he holds it out for you to light. What do you have, like a little pipe of your own?
Yes. No. I'll be honest, no.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I was thinking more like cigar.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't necessarily have a pipe, and I'll be honest, I don't necessarily think Krayley's gonna know how to properly puff on something like that.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, he can just huff it.
No, I'll try to. Probably like, oh, so sorry, I forgot my pipe. You wouldn't happen to have an extra, or Jabaz, you wouldn't happen to be selling one, would you?
He points over to the one corner of the room where underneath a big painting there's a large table. He says, there should be some fresh ones in the drawer there.
I'll go over and open the drawer and look for the least dirty one.
Yeah, there's you can see, you pull open one of the drawers, there are 3 ivory carved little curved pipes in the drawer. They all seem like they've likely been freshly scrubbed and cleaned this morning. They're almost pristine. You know, you can tell that they've likely been used before. There's a little bit of kind of like sign of use in the bowl where you would like pack tobacco in, but otherwise it looks like it's been freshly scrubbed. What about you other two as Krayley's packing their pipe? I just want to get everyone properly in their places with what they're doing and where they are before Krayley's, or not Krayley's, but Sylvie's investigation turns something up.
Yes. I imagine, like, as all this is happening, as Sylvie's going around and Krayley's trying to puff a smoke, Dolos is, like, standing, like, sort of, like, in the middle of the entryway, trying to get, like, a read of who's here, if he recognizes any of them. And if he feels like there's, like, good enough of an opportunity, he will cast message on Jonathan. I cannot pronounce his name correctly.
Jabaz.
Jabaz. Very bad memory. Dolos would cast message on Jabaz and just be like, I know that you know where it is. Take me there now, or bad things will happen.
Sylvie, as you're kind of moving about the room, you're trying to think where they might keep their register. And you can tell that, Jabaz is wearing a robe that's kind of made out of the same material as the elaborate drapes that are hanging all around the room. It's kind of like got images of like bathing royalty on it and stuff, and you think like, well, he might have it on his person if it's a ledger, or if not on his person, you know, it might be in one of these. You notice there are 2 rooms on either side past where was sitting on either side of the central tub with the 2 women bathing. And as you kind of like head towards one of those doors, as everyone else is sort of filling into the room, out of the corner of your eye, behind the tub where the man is interacting with Krayley, you see the curtains move. And kind of all together in one flourish, in three parts of the room, the tapestries, the drapery begins to shuffle and move, and then three figures appear that are kind of wearing the same printed robe materials as the drapes hanging around the room, but they all have glinting blades in their hands. I'd like you to select your tokens and roll initiative. As you hit a message in Jabaz's ear, there, Dolos, Jabaz kind of like stumbles back and falls behind his cushiony seat there as the three hidden assassins reveal themselves just as you kind of start asking, probing into deeper questions into Jabaz's mind.
Man, I can never roll good.
Neither can I.
Oh
Let me hit
boy.
this. Oh, you want me to roll? You want me to roll initiative too, right? Even though I'm outside of the.
Yeah.
Your...
Yep.
Okay. Second there, I thought you were putting music from like Fallout 1 or something.
No, this is just stuff from Tabletop Audio. Roll 20, Steph. I gotta be careful what I play, because if I upload it to YouTube, it could get flagged. That stuff gets flagged so quickly. Anything. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to use, but you gotta use royalty free if you're posting to YouTube. Even if you're streaming on Twitch, so they'll get you. Yeah.
Not even if it's royalty free, they'll still copyright whatever they want. Because if you remember, 10 years ago, the whole Warner Music Group bullcrap where they're just copyrighting any old music from any video, claiming that it was theirs, even if they didn't own it.
Yeah. These three figures that were hiding among the drapery, wearing similar robes, all pop out as you guys start asking too many questions. The two women in the tub kind of like skirt off to one side, kind of clutching the edges, as one of the... Or as Krayley, it's your turn.
Okay. The gentleman who was going to give me some of his tobacco, I guess I'm curious what his reaction was.
He says, "Hey, kid, hand me my dagger and my coat."
Okay. I will... I guess I'm fine. I guess counting this as maybe my turn, but I am curious if I should trust him or not when he says that. If I get
Make an insight check.
Okay. I just don't want to throw some guy
You
out
can-
there like...
You can tell one of these robed figures has appeared right behind him. The man in the tub seems to be like keeping his cool, and you don't get the impression that he necessarily wants to join them in the fight.
Okay.
You get the impression that he's probably a visiting trader, from Luskin even.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess to clarify, would that count as my action then? Just kind of looking at his reaction. And
I would say you could give him his dagger with an object interaction if you wanted to.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll do it. And where is his jacket?
It was just kind of like right over. It was kind of like right over here. There's a bench here in front of this. Kind of over by where the table and stuff is, underneath this big painting here.
Okay. Then I will reach into his coat or jacket, grab the knife, and I will attempt to toss it to him as my throw check.
Yeah, you feel in the inner folded inside of his coat, you feel like a kind of heavy, long dagger blade. You pull it out. It's wrapped in a fine, like suede sheath. the hilt of the dagger is lined in like it's got like a wood handle, but it's got like it's fastened and fashioned with little lines of silver down the center of the handle. Got a good heavy weight to it, and you hand it. He kind of like swishes, over, reaching out for it, and he'll take an opportunity. Well, he'll just go on his turn, but he looks like he's like reaching out for you to hand it to him.
Okay, sounds good.
You could actually reach over the tub, and he pulls the dagger out of its like overhanded. He pulls the dagger out, and it's got kind of like a weaving blade, and he looks like he rolled a natural 20 on his initiative, so he's actually gonna turn, and he's gonna stab at the figure that emerged behind him. This says club, but it's gonna be a dagger. Oh, you guys can't see it. He kind of turns, and the dagger like sticks into the side of the tub, kind of deep, and he's like trying to struggle to pull it out. And then that person above, the person in the robed figure above him, drives his dagger down at the fellow in the tub that just gave you some tobacco.
Not tobacco, man.
You can see he's kind of like still caught up in the drapery a bit, and he like goes to swing, but his arm kind of gets dragged down by the heavy drapes that are falling from the ceiling, and he kind of shakes it off his shoulder and curses under his breath. Tonwalk, you're up.
I'm gonna move 30 feet here, and then I'm gonna wonder why everyone's in a combative stance. I'm guessing my character would know that these are probably he probably can't see them yet.
No, you can see them all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, in character, he wouldn't know what's going on, so he's gonna ask Sylvie what the heck is going on, and I'm gonna have to wait the whole turn before I do something instead of doing something rash and then killing the wrong person.
I go, I have no fucking idea.
Neither do I.
One of the robed figures rushes out from behind the tub to the south of you all, and is going to try and strike Bernard with their dagger. I hope they're
it's not me.
I hope they're listening. Oh boy. So they rolled a natural 20. So Bernard, one of these figures rushes forward, and they jab their dagger right in between the plates of Bernard's armor, and they like twist it as hard as they can, and you hear Bernard kind of like groan as this sudden twisted dagger is like jabbed into the side just between a couple of his ribs. He takes 20 damage.
Oh my god.
He almost wobbles to one knee, and you hear anyone nearby hears like a low whisper of the robed figure say, "Flee now with your lives while you can."
Does Krayley hear that? I guess would that count as...
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just kind of low and raspy.
Sounds like he's been smoking for like 20 years.
Yeah. Well, Bernard didn't like that. Of course, it would be him that just gets totally roasted right at the start. He takes out his blade. He gives a whack to the person that just stabbed him. He kind of like, in one motion, as he's like kind of haunched over, shucks his glaive off his back and falls into his hands, and he brings it across, slashing for 8 damage. One of these robed figures. And Dulles, you're up.
Okay. Well, Dulles, moving... He can move there without provoking opportunity of attack, right? Because he's not leaving his space?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. He's gonna do that. And then he's gonna cast Command on this guy. And he's gonna say, kneel.
Is that a wisdom saving throw?
That is a... Yes, a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. DC... your DC is probably higher than a 10, I assume. So,
Yeah, it's 13.
yeah, like kind of still bunched up in the drapes. You see him go down to one knee. He kind of disappears behind the tub. You can still see like the leather of his boots kind of off to the side, but he kind of crouches down and kneels.
Wonderful.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Sylvie.
Okay, does Sylvie see the whole thing going down with Bernard getting stabbed?
Yeah, I think so. You heard it especially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. She's gonna throw her dagger at the guy who just stabbed Bernard.
Yeah, go for it. You
Please tell me it just misses.
you this
You actually stab him.
the cloaked figure over by Bernard he's got like Bernard's blood dripping off his dagger, and then Bernard slices through him, and as he's kind of like recovering from the blow, blood's like already just quickly seeping through the garments that he's wearing that resemble the drapes that are hanging around. It's just starting to get sticky to his form. You can start to see like the outline of his kind of like thin body. You go to throw your dagger, and just like his hand just snaps up and catches the hilt, and he like looks towards you like he's about to return your dagger to you soon.
Okay.
The one that you commanded to kneel, there, Dulles, will come towards you. You feel like when these guys get within a few feet of you, within 5 feet, it kind of sends like a shiver down your spine. There's something about the way that they move that is oddly terrifying. They all seem to be kind of elongated almost, and they shuffle with a speed that's a little frightening, and they try to stab you. Does 18 hit?
Yeah, that hits.
You take.
DM, wouldn't he? Since it had just become the guy he commanded's turn, wouldn't?
Oh yeah, you know what? He'll take half his movement. He wasn't prone.
Yeah, he did just kneel.
But we'll call it half his move. So 5, 10, 15, 20. He can only get to there. He'll throw his dagger. And hit you for 3 piercing damage. Which would have been 6. Which would have been 6 if he was within 5 feet of you.
Oh, thank God.
That's why Bernard took so much. He was crit for 10. Krayley, you're up.
I mean, I see the guy, I guess, in front of me, the tobacco guy, but I assume I hear Bernard groan as well. I just would like to go right next to Sylvie. I just kind of run that way. And then I would like to just make a ranged attack on the individual, this first individual that attacked Bernard. If that's cool. And that is my attack.
Yeah, you flash an arrow into his side. His two daggers topple out of his hands as he falls onto the blue marble floor.
That'll be my turn. That's all I'm doing.
You hear the big guy in the tub sloshing around. He says, "Hey, way to go, kid." This one ignores the guy still struggling with his dagger in the tub, stuck in the sidewall, and comes up behind you, Sylvie. And they're going to try and stab you with their dagger. You take, as they rolled the natural 20,
No.
12 piercing damage. 12 piercing damage. You feel a sharp pain in your back as his dagger drives in from behind you. Halfway down its blade, you feel it quickly come out. There's like you can feel like a big spurt of blood come out of your back and start to like drip down your hip, and it's quite painful.
She goes, "You're gonna pay for that."
The guy in the tub unwedges his dagger, and he'll kind of come slosh over to the edge and slosh over to the edge, and yeah, that might do more damage, honestly. But he'll actually stab the cloaked figure for 3 piercing damage with his own dagger. Tonwalk, you're up.
I'm gonna cast some Mystican healing magic on Bernard because he's basically dead.
Well, I meant to give you guys this warning before the session, and I don't want to impede your actions. I was going to tell you guys this. You're coming into like a fairly reasonable little dungeon crawl here. So, like this session is going to be like, I would say it's rated as deadly. So just like, I only tell you that just to kind of be mindful of your actions, since we're kind of at the start.
Deadly fun.
Okay.
But go ahead, cast your healing magics.
La Quiquilia.
I just didn't want you guys to start blowing through all your spells like in the first encounter. You know what I mean?
Spell casting ability modifier. Since I use charisma, that would be 3. So 1d8 plus 3.
Go ahead and roll d8.
He heals for 9.
9.
Nice.
You channel some of your Mastican magics into Bernard. He looks like he's a bit more reinvigorated as he gets ready to soon swing his blade again. Anything else, Tonwalk?
And then, yeah, they're not enemy. That's Jabaz.
Yeah, that's a Jabaz. Enemies that are left.
I will stand on top of the thing if I could be next to Sylvie so I could heal her next.
Okay. You hop up on the leather love seat there. Kind of like you bounce up and down a little bit as you hop up. Jabaz is kind of like looking up at you, terrified. As Bernard heads over, and we'll take a methodical swing with his glaive. Him rolling a natural 20, and he will just...
Is the glaive not a reach weapon?
Yeah, I suppose it is. I don't have all the mechanics of his character down. I'm just winging it, you know.
Oh.
It might be. He would play his character optimally. I might play it suboptimally. Suboptimally.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I might also be wrong. I'm thinking of 3.
Yeah.
I'm more familiar with 3.5.
I think he might have a reach weapon. But he takes a wide arced swing and lops the head off of that one. It just kind of like pops off. You can see it like fly in a little arc, and it splashes into the tub. Like the red blood starts like pooling as the two girls in there scream. They start to like scramble. Yeah, they start to like scramble over the side and like get out of the pooling blood. Grabbing a couple of fresh white towels from nearby to cover themselves. Dolos.
Dolos looking around, seeing that 2 of the 3 assassins are already dead, and that the third one is more than likely gonna die soon, is like, there's not much for me to do, and is going to just be like, you know what? Great opportunity. Once again, cast message at Jabaz? Right?
Yep.
And it's gonna be like, look at what you have caused. Do as I say, or more will follow.
Make a
Intimidation check?
well, because you might know who this person is, but because of how Dolos looks now, you know, they might not recall who you are anymore. I would say just make a maybe just make an insight check.
Insight, okay.
Oh no.
My rolls.
But in their message you hear them say, "I can't tell you anything. It'll cost me my life."
It's only a one-way message.
They can't say anything back?
No, they can, but I can't respond.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You gotta cast it again. Yeah, you gotta cast it
and
again.
And if we're going with initiative rules, it's like...
Yeah. Sylvie!
Okay, so... Gotta double check and make sure. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to turn to the guy who just stabbed the crap out of me. And I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery. It'll let me. My goodness. Why doesn't this like me? Oh, there we go. Okay. And I'm gonna say, who made that curtain for you, your mom?
What is your spell save DC? Is it higher than 11? I imagine it is.
Yeah.
Roll your psychic damage.
Yes. Oh. What is this thing doing? Okay. Alright, we're good. My computer's just being weird.
As many as many folk who end up as hired hands, murderous assassins, common thugs, you know, they've likely grown up with fairly traumatic childhoods, so you probably do trigger some long suppressed memory from this man's childhood of his mother making him wear something horrible as a child and going out and then getting beat up by all the school kids in the yard or something.
Oh my god.
He takes 4 emotional damage. Max emotional damage. And Rayleigh, you're up.
Okay. So, seeing that Sylvie got hit pretty hard by this individual, and then Sylvie making fun of his childhood, I want to go ahead and try to cast. Well,
It turns out Crayley was the one who bullied him.
Wait. Mold Earth on his space.
Yeah.
To move. Let me just double check here. A 5-foot cube of dirt or stone. I just want to move it 1 space over. Essentially, what I'm trying to do here is, I'm hoping, since he's on the corner of that sunken bath area, that I can move that dirt, and just a bunch of water kind of fills his space. Not necessarily to hurt him, but to slow him at least. If that makes sense.
Ooh.
So it kind of floats it.
Interessante.
Like a temporary blindness?
Or just like a, temporary, he's like, I'm assuming these sunken baths fill up to the waist-ish. I don't know if that would
You're
work.
casting it under the
space that he's on.
the Nightblade, right? Not like the tub guy?
No. Yeah, the Nightblade guy.
Okay, I
It's
gotcha.
like, I'm hoping, because it's like in the corner of that sunken bath, that'll kind of rush in and. If that's a little. I'm not sure. That's so
No, I'm just
specific.
reading the spell.
Sorry.
I would say that you could shuffle and move the stone, because it's like a marbled floor. I would say you could use it to shuffle and move the stone under him to try and get him to fall.
Okay.
Yeah. So he'll make a DC 14 because dexterity saving throw to see if he falls prone or not. So the stone beneath him kind of cracks and breaks, and like the slabs of marble kind of move to the sides, and he loses his footing as they're pushed from underneath his feet, and he falls prone before the two of you.
Okay. That'll be my turn.
He's going to, from his prone position, just kind of swipe up
What
at...
about the guy in the tub?
Did I skip him? He's after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's next. He's going to swipe up at you, Sylvie. Likely in his last desperate act. With the... As he brings his blade back to stab at you again, the guy in the tub, you see his thick, meaty sausage fingers grab around the wrist of the assassin as his dagger's coming towards you, and you hear him say, "Not today, pal!" And he blows a big cloud of minty smoke in his face out of his pipe. And he's got him held there, his wrist held there now. Yeah. Yeah, he's just puffing out clouds of smoke as his object, his object interaction. Tanwak. Yeah.
That quickly, I'm gonna heal Sylvie for 10 points.
Nice.
Jeez.
Nice.
And Bernard strides around the outside of the couch past Jabaz, and we'll make another strike. getting up close intentionally for another natural 20. As the guy's kind of there, knelt prone with one arm gripped by the man in the tub, Bernard just hacks down with all of his force, kind of just hunking into his shoulder. More blood just like sprays out along the walls in the tub. And the final night blade is put down. Jabaz, the two women are like wiping wet blood off of them, and one of them's like, "You said this was the nicest bathhouse in town. I can't believe this." And we're never coming back here again. I'm telling my friends. And they like grab their things and like leave out the front. The guy's like chuckling. He puffs out another cloud of smoke and like leans back in the tub. He goes, "Oh, that was unexpected. Haven't had a good fight in a while." And
People.
Jabaz is like kind of shaking. He stands up. He goes, "Oh, well, I don't know what to say."
Tell us what you know, Bathmonger.
Bathmonger?
Yeah.
I had no idea those men were there. I'm just as shocked as any of you are.
Insight check?
Yeah, you can make an
I don't
insight
know.
check.
Oh, he feels like he's lying. I can't tell the
Can I
difference.
make an insight check?
Yeah, you can make an insight check.
Can I check that Bernard and Sylvie look okay? Like, less hurt?
Yeah, Bernard says, "Fuck, that hurt."
Finally, a good
Sylvie-
roll.
Sylvie immediately goes to loot the guy who stabbed her.
I internally think Sylvie's okay.
Douglas, you know that Jabaz knows more than he's letting on. He might not know that those men were there hiding in the curtains, but he does know what's going on here.
Yeah, that's what Delos thought.
Make an investigation check, Sylvie.
Okay. It would be a miracle if I could roll above a 10 today.
You find a
Again, it's all
band.
your luck.
You find a little bandolier around the midsection of the fellow with 4 daggers in it, an empty slot for the 5th one that he had been using for the fight.
Don't mind if I do.
Other than that, he has a small coin purse with 29 silver in it.
Okay.
And nothing else much on their body.
Okay. I'm good now. Sylvie's good now.
And Krayley maybe I misunderstood it earlier, but can I hand his sheath back to the tobacco guy?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I hand it back. I say, thank you.
Oh, most excitement I've had in a week.
In a week?
You know. The trip down from Luskin can get a little iffy sometimes.
I don't think I got your name.
Oh, well, that just depends on who you ask, I suppose. But here in Boulder's Gate, I'm known as Gerard Pardue.
And if it depends on who I ask, what if I'm asking you?
He chuckles and he says, as you might have noticed, I trade in tobacco. Some of the finest stuff ever grown south of the spine of the world.
I reach out a hand just a paw to shake his hand, and I say, Krayley.
Pleasure to meet you, Crayley.
Oh.
He shunks the dagger in the sheath and he says, well, seeing as y'all weren't here, that could have ended poorly for me, and perhaps maybe I feel like a deed for a deed. And he kind of like hands you over his dagger. He says, another one of the fineries you can find up in Luskin. Some of the most well-made blades there is around the Sword Coast.
I mean, that's extremely kind of you. Honestly, a deed for a deed. I appreciate you helping us here. This could have gone for the worse.
And this finely crafted dagger is going to be a +1 dagger.
Ooh.
Temporarily put it in my backpack.
I mean, Sylvie, you can't throw it at people.
Thank you. Thank you, Gerard.
Jabaz says, Quamilla, can you come out here, please? There's been an incident. Let's get rid of the rest of our appointments for today. And bring out some of the healing potions. And you hear some like shuffling in the back room, and another patron of the Steaming Nymph kind of comes out in a robe. Their clothes tucked under one arm. And there's a human woman kind of that shuffles out behind her. She's got a little tray of massage oils and a couple of other little stoppered bottles. She says, well, yes, I heard the commotion. What is it that's going on out here? She says, sorry, come back tomorrow. I'll finish up. And she pats the customer on the shoulder. And kind of a younger, tall, slender, dark-haired woman comes out. She looks like, she probably lives in the upper city, but her hair is well combed, and she's very well manicured. She can see that she's probably recently had her nails done. She's holding the tray very gingerly. Well, this is going to ruin our whole day, Jabaz. And he says, yes, tell me about it. She's kind of gives you all a strained smile. She says, well, I suppose it's good that you are all here for the violence. And, someone hurt? And she hands you, Sylvie, a healing potion, and Bernard a healing potion.
May I have one?
She looks at Jabaz, and he, gives her a nod, and she hands one to you.
I chug it.
Dulles is gonna hold out his hand, expecting one.
Bernard drinks his immediately, healing to full. She says, right, but this is the last one, and she gives you one as well, Dulles.
Actually, on second thought, I think I might hold on to it. All I do is just get stung by
Yeah.
an imp.
Jabaz says, well, if you all don't mind, I'll have the city watch called to come clean this up. Looks like we're going to have to close for the day. And you've all caused enough trouble here, so I'd like you to leave.
We're not leaving until we
Get that
have...
registry.
He says, listen, you need to listen to me. You don't know who you're dealing with. This establishment is owned by the Van Thampers, and you're making a powerful enemy if you don't listen to me now.
I am the Tetlatlamachiani of Duke Older Ravengard. You will help us. It has been commanded.
You see, this desperate look in Jabaz's eyes, he wants is for you to just please leave. But seeing as none of you seem interested in doing so, Carmilla says, Jabaz, just tell them what they want to hear. And
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm going to ask: does this involve the? I don't even know what the adjective is for people who worship Baal. Does this involve the Balians?
Just 'cause it's thinking.
Does this involve the Balians who attacked earlier? Was it today, or was it the day before?
The day before, I think.
They had attacked the day before. Is that why everyone's so on edge when wanting to provide information?
Carmilla says, she kind of like puts her hand on Jabaz's shoulder and she says, we didn't want to help them, but obviously they didn't give us much choice. There's a secret entrance to the city's sewer systems underneath the flaming nymph.
I knew there was a secret entrance. I was searching in the wrong place.
Every now and then the pipes that bring the water into the tubs must be serviced, and so there's a way down into the bowels of the city here. The intruders must have found out somehow, and they've been forcing their way in and out of this place for weeks now. And Jabaz is like sobbing. He's like, Elmara's going to have Hammer kill me, I know it. You weren't supposed to tell them.
We won't let that happen.
Are we sure of that? Amric is a very difficult person to combat and win against.
We'll die trying then. Or at least I will.
You can die you want. I'm not gonna die for a cause I have no belief in.
I can show you the entrance.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to add.
Thank you.
And Jabaz like slumps in the little love seat. Carmilla gestures for you all to follow her into her massage room, and she walks over to a back corner where she kind of leans on the wall and pushes in. She says, we're only here in the daytime. We don't know really what happens with their comings and goings at night. Nobody ever emerges in the day, though. So there could be anyone down there for all I know.
Does the secret door swing in or out?
It pushes inward.
Oh, I will recommend to her to install a new security bar so nobody from the other side can get in. After all, only these workers are supposed to be the only ones allowed to go in and service the area. So,
well, there's probably other exits out into the city from down there. They would just come. They would just come back and
at least block that one.
Do you want me to block it after you go in there?
Well, what do you guys think?
No.
Absolutely.
Probably. There's gotta be another exit, right?
We'd be locking ourselves in the sewers.
I smelt worse.
While we're all waiting, I'm just gonna ask her, like, did you guys know there was an imp just lounging in your fountain?
An imp?
The fuck?
She says, there are all kinds of little inscrutable creatures lurking around the city these days. Doesn't surprise me.
The little bastard stung me.
You okay?
Do you need a Band-Aid?
I think I should be fine for now. I still have that healing potion just in case.
He says, well, here, at least let me rub some antiseptic ointment on it. And she, pulls out a little salve jar from underneath her massage table. She says, there you go. I hope it feels better now.
Thank you. I will not forget this kindness.
Kind of icy hot. You can feel it kind of tingle a bit.
Neosporin.
Does it look
yeah. I assume you guys are going to head down into the dungeon.
Before that, if I may do something. Before we go down, I think Dolos would just quickly turn around. Just to fuck with him, would cast a message to... I forgot his name, Jabard?
Jabaz.
Jabaz. Would cast a message to Jabaz and just be like, Thalmara will be informed of this.
He goes, ah!
It won't be Amrit killing you.
No!
What's this chick's name? I forgot.
Qualmara.
Qualmara, I recommend having the sending for the flaming fists to guard this location for the foreseeable future.
Well, I think in this case, I'm afraid that Jabaz is probably going to have to contact the Van Thampers, and they'll send whoever they send.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine, considering his state, that he might wait a little while.
Well, it's best to not dawdle, and any number of individuals can come here and lay waste to the Bathmonger.
Now, before we take our quick little mid-session break here, I'm going to let you guys choose. We can do this next part of the session on the map I have here while I kind of reveal along the way, or we can use the dynamic lighting version. I'll let you guys look at what that looks like. I'm sure that you probably experienced dynamic lighting before, but I know a couple of you don't have dark vision, and so that's what it would be looking like for you guys. You can move your tokens around to see how the light moves if you want.
Aha, but in this version, light is a cantrip.
Oh, whoa.
Ooh.
So we can play on the dynamic lighting map, or we can play on the sort of more art-styled map. It's up to you guys. But this is to just kind of illustrate to you how dark it is down here. It is pitch black as you descend into the lower levels. It is totally unlit. You find yourselves splashing down into about 2 feet of water it is kind of pooling around your ankles here in this first room. You see that the corridors that you can spot...
Are there any candles, or are there any unlit candles or torches in here?
Not in here. This room is
Yes, please, a candle.
pretty much empty.
Light them all.
I can wait. Hold on. Are the cloaks that we have, are those once a day, or are those unlimited because they're cantrips?
Unlimited.
That means if find any torches, or anyone has any torches or candles, I can light it, and then we can kind of leave instead of instead of crumble trails, you can leave candle trails.
Like glow sticks.
I have 10 torches.
I just kind of want to set the aesthetic of the dungeon a little bit. As you're traveling through, you will notice that the dungeon's rooms and corridors and the staircases are all hewn from limestone. So it's kind of like a white chalky stone. The corridors that you may travel through are 5 feet wide, unless I otherwise note them, and most of the ceilings will be 8 feet high. You might encounter rooms that are being held up with thick wooden beams now and again. And I think that's probably all you need to know for now. Currently here, the water's pooling around your feet, and this room is empty. You see paths leading to the south, one leading into just kind of a little empty corridor, and one that seems to bend south and around to the east. We will take our mid-session break here, and you guys can decide which map you would like to use when we come back.
I have one quick question.